Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 1 of my Maplestory Let's Play. I am just kind of doing the world select right now. I have characters in every one of these worlds. I have 28 total characters, and then Mardia, and then from Mardia all the way down, I don't have any characters in any of these worlds. So we're going to start brand new, just to kind of get that fresh start so that no one can say, oh, you already started, or you were funded, or whatever. So we're going to start with a brand new world that I've never used before. I'm kind of debating which one. Mardia looked good. Bellicon, I usually like to go for the least populated servers just so that I can, kind of train on my own. And I'm more of a grind guy. I like to go to isolated maps and just grind my eyes till they bleed and go with it that way. So Caney's looking the best. Windy is way overpopulated. Broa looks not too bad, but compared to Caney, it is still more populated. Compared to Broa, even Broa is quite populated, but then Scania I think is like the most populated from what I understand. It's either Scania or Windia. So let's just go into Caney. Caney looks to be the least populated because of all the server merges that just happened. So let's go ahead and create a new character, and the main goal here is to make an ultimate explorer. So I'm going to start out with a Cygnus. Let's go here and Cygnus. And obviously, I am most well known as EonMapleCraft, so I'm going to name my character EonMapleCraft WA because this is going to be a wind archer. Just kind of pick, kind of like the most generic looking face and skin and all that random stuff. And yeah, so this is Maplestory. If you've never played this game before, I'm surprised because it seems like a lot of people have at least tried it at one point or another. But I do have a little bit of a special guest audience right now. John is listening in on this commentary while I'm doing it. Unfortunately, though, he hasn't been able to play Maplestory yet, but we're working on it. He's getting a new computer, so he might end up joining me for a few of these once he gets his computer a few months down the line. Hopefully not too far away. So I am going to log in here, and here we go. All right. Now, obviously, to start things out, you just kind of have the basic little tutorial with the cute little arrows pointing you in the right direction and that kind of stuff. The main reason I wanted to do Cygnus was because for me to make a brand new character and go all the way up to level 200, that just sounds ridiculous to me. I personally don't spend that much time on Maplestory. I maybe I'll spend a few hours on it every day just to kind of make sure that I don't go broke on the game with Mesos and to maybe level up like 2 or 3 different characters or something simple like that. But I'm not kind of obsessive with this game, so let's just kind of go through here. I've made so many Cygnus Knights it's almost embarrassing because I personally enjoy them more just because they're a little bit more powerful because they get the six ability points per level until they hit 70, and then they get 4th job skills at levels 90, 100, and 110 now. It used to be just 100 and 110, but they moved those skills back and added a new one at 110. So yeah, big fan of Cygnus. As far as the actual Cygnus Knights go, I think the Wind Archer is hands down the best right now, if for no other reason because Wind Piercing is awesome. It has the Drain skill, which basically means you never need to use HP potions, and it makes bossing a whole lot easier. And it's weird because it ultimately does end up being your superior bossing skill, even over Hurricane, just because it has that HP restore value to it. So you're not going to die. And the only thing more important than killing the boss itself is not dying in the process, because if you die, you have to try and start over. So Wind Piercing is extremely helpful in a lot of the big boss battles towards the end, including the battle against the Black Witch, which is required if you want to make an Ultimate Explorer, which obviously is the goal here. So, just kind of going through here, doing all these random tutorial quests. Like I said, as far as Cygnus goes, Wind Archer is, in my opinion, the best, but second place, I really am struggling with this because I love Thunderbreakers, but man, until they get the revamp, which isn't too far down the line, but until they get the revamp, they actually come in 4th, maybe even 5th right now. Dawn Warriors are incredible because of combo attack and advanced combo attack. Those buffs are just so overpowered. And then, of course, they get Soul Driver, aka Troll Driver, aka I'm going to kill every monster in this map before you even realize that I attacked them. But yeah, Dawn Warriors are probably second. If not them, then the newly revamped Nightwalkers are probably second. Um, Unfortunately, though, Shade Split is still a pretty freaking weak move. It's painful, but yeah, I just got my chair, so hooray there. Let's see here. Just like I said, going through the tutorial, this is mostly going to be me kind of commentating my thoughts on the game and the Cygnus Knights as of right now, because I tend to, I honestly probably spend more time on Basil Market than Maplestory in the game itself. If you're not familiar with what Basil Market is, it is an internet forum that is designed for trading, buying, selling, and discussion of Maplestory. And I spend a lot of time on there. I haven't really been on there too much lately, but for a while there, it was one of those things where I would log on to Basil Market to get me pumped for the game, and I would end up spending more time on Basil Market, and then end up either just not playing the game at all or barely playing the game. So I guess you could call me a Maplestory theorist, because I like to, kind of think and crunch numbers with the game more than I like to actually play it, which is kind of weird. So here we are. Talk to Cygnus here, and she's going to kind of help us to move along. Talk to her here again to accept a quest that involves talking to Nineheart, and then she gives us our first medal. Big deal. I think the medal's like 50 HP and MP. It's really pretty much nothing. So talk to Nineheart here, and we get to move on to our training. I am level 6 right now, 7 now, obviously. I always make sure that I increase nimble feet for this very reason, because it's not huge, but it's helpful as far as mobility goes. Once I get my archery mastery in first job, nimble feet is going to basically become extinct. It's going to get outclassed. So I'm going to do a jump here, jump cut, because there's a long way between that map and this one. Two really, really like obnoxiously long maps. So here I am, and we're going to do these, again, just the basic intro training classes. But yeah, going back to the actual Cygnus Knights, Thunderbreaker, I really can't wait for them to revamp Pirates, because I have a level 83 Thunderbreaker in Cradia, and I'm just like, it's kind of like they broke Thunderbreakers now. They're not completely unplayable, but it's one of those things where there's enough stuff wrong with them that I don't feel like putting the effort into training one that is going to be completely beastly as of, I think it was, August 8th or something like that. So yeah, Thunderbreakers for me right now are kind of in a state of limbo, and really all pirates, because, man, when Bucks get that revamp, throwing lasers out of freaking Super Saiyan mode is going to be epic. But yeah, so here we are again, doing the training quests. I am so in love with the Wind Archer, and the Wind Archer is overpowered, and everybody knows that, but a lot of people don't realize why. The Wind Archer isn't overpowered because it gets, wind piercing, and that is a great move, but that isn't the only reason that they're overpowered. They're overpowered because, first of all, in second job, you get what I like to call the Wind Archer's secret weapon, which is called Wind Walk, which is basically the Wind Archer's version of a rogue's dark sight. It makes you invisible. You can't get hit by monsters, or you can't get aggroed by monsters, I guess, because if they're already aggroed on you, they're still going to attack you while you're in it. But the thing is, if you attack out of Wind Walk, it increases your damage by 60%. So if you're using a move that is going to hit for 5k, and you use it out of Wind Walk, it's going to hit for 8k. That is huge, especially when it's the difference between 50 and 80,000 damage. But then on top of that, not only that, but they get Concentrate, which is plus 20 weapon attack. They get their transformation into Eagle Eye, which maxes out at 5 SP, which means that you can max it at level 82 if you want. Or not 82, 72. And that's another plus 20 weapon attack. And at level 100, they get Bow Expert, which is yet another plus, I think that's even 30 weapon attack. So that's just insanity. Seriously, this is completely overpowered, and that's why I love them. It's also, obviously, Bow Expert gives you bonus mastery, and from what I understand, critical rate, I believe, or minimum critical damage, something like that. It's very helpful, and with the critical base, holy crap, look at all of those monsters. This is going to make this quest easy. So I'm going to go up here and just kind of thrash all these things with my, lucky little snail shell technique. I remember back in the day when you actually needed snail shells to use this technique, where you were stuck on Maple Island, and in order to throw a snail shell, you actually had to have one in your inventory. If you had, the red snail technique, you had to have red snail shells in your inventory, and now you just kind of use it. I remember when I first came back to Maplestory in, I believe it was early 2010, I made a resistance character, and they have that ore throwing technique, and I didn't know where to get the ores to use to throw, because I still was living in the past and thinking that you needed to have the item in your inventory in order for you to actually be able to use it. Little did I realize, and obviously I realized it a little bit too late, but little did I realize it's just kind of something that you can do, and all it costs really now is MP, which, again, nowadays you go through the tutorial and you start off with 150 potions of HP and MP. So we finished this quest. Oh man, just reminiscing on the good old days of Maplestory. But you know what? It's one of those things where I notice a lot of people complain about new Maplestory. To me, I don't mind that it's gotten easier. I like that they've introduced so many new classes. It's one of the reasons that I play it so much, is because if I get bored of one play style, I can just move to one of my other characters. I have, probably 24 or 25 of my 28 characters right now are over level 30. So I would say they're all, at the very least, in a playable state. Although I will say a lot of them are pretty much broke. The main servers that I usually play on are Zenith, which is where I have my other level 120 Wind Archer and my Ultimate Explorer Paladin, as well as my Dual Blade. Dual Blade was actually my first ever character on Maplestory since I came back in 2010. And then more recently, I've been majoring in Renegades. Renegades has been my home pretty much since it came out, just because I started off, I was one of the first people to start a character on that server. I am fully convinced that I was the first non-Phantom to reach levels 70 and 90, because I was literally the first person at Aliens, because you know how popular Aliens is. As soon as somebody reaches level 90, they want to go there, and I changed channels to every single channel, and I was the only person there when I first got there. So if I wasn't the first person to reach level 90 in Renegades, I was definitely the first person to get to Aliens in Renegades, which is pretty cool. Especially because that's one of those maps that is so crowded, it's obnoxious. So if you get there before everybody else, you kind of get to claim a channel for your own. It helped me a lot. I got to level 116 on my first day. I used 4 or 5 2x coupons because I was kind of in like a race kind of mode where I was trying to beat everybody to the levels. But then I ended up passing out at level 116. The next day I got to like 127, and now I'm just kind of hovering around 30 doing quests and merching and that kind of stuff. It's pretty fun though. I enjoy it. I'm kind of stockpiling glove for attack scrolls right now. I just made a cut there because I just accepted a bunch of quests and walked over here. But we are level 10. I'm kind of talking my night away here, but we're level 10. So Oz, sorry buddy, it's not going to be you. Hawkeye, I love you, and I'll probably be with you soon. Mihail, oh man, I'm gonna miss you, but bye. Oh man, Mihail. Oh, okay. Let's get back to business. Anyway, not you either, Eckert. I'm not a big fan of the thief class right now. So let's talk to Irina. Let's become a wind archer, and here we go. All right, I'm a wind archer. I need to apply all of my SP to my dex, and don't do auto assign. Please don't do auto assign, because that's just unnecessary. You don't need strength if you're a wind archer. I'm just going to assign these in jump cut. There we go. Okay. All dex, and you get 4 different skills as a level 10 wind archer. I am going to throw a point into double shot, and maybe a point into my storm skill when I hit level 11, before maxing archery mastery. So, this has been Maplestory, and this is episode 1. I got to level 10 in, well, with a few cuts, in 15 minutes. And next episode, I don't know what level I'm going to get to. I don't even know for sure if I'm going to show all of my training. Probably just going to kind of cut around to like the 30 seconds before and after I level up. So yeah, this has been Maplestory, and I am EonMapleCraft, and I'm signing out right now.